Hello everyone and welcome to episode 1 of the Online Hustle podcast. I would like to mention that the Online Hustle podcast is proudly backed by AVASK, and I'm Piero Perera, the Strategy Growth Account Manager here at AVASK. What I wanted to mention is the podcast is for any business or any new person that's planning on launching a brand new product, or for e-commerce businesses that have been established for a long while and are ready to listen to new insights and new ways to grow and think about and change kind of change their strategy at the same time. Season 1 is actually featuring some amazing guests, some people that I've had the pleasure of meeting in person, and their expertise kind of goes through what's important in strategizing for business, and the podcast is very much directed towards that. A lot of the episodes will go, it's not just about the story or brand success and brand stories. It's actually big insights and very detailed plans on how things have gone well and then gone wrong. So a lot of time you'll hear about challenges and how businesses have overcome these. And at the same time, you'll also listen to very inspiring stories from people that have managed to become experts in their field. The purpose is to have a massive and big deep dive into these strategies. I personally, being the Strategy and Growth Account Manager, I am a little bit of a strategy nerd myself. So I will try my best out of all these episodes to get the biggest insight and go into a lot of depth into understanding why that decision was made at that time and why was that strategy kind of grown. So with season 1, it's all about the guests. It's about understanding why they did and how they did it. We're already planning season 2, believe it or not. And season 2, we plan on bringing in our own side of the story, talking about our own business and how we actually managed to start up and launch our own business. But that's for season 2, because season 1, as I said, it's all about our amazing guests. In terms of the audience, I've already mentioned, this is for anyone that's as much as a business nerd that I am. Hopefully I can portray that love for business that I have and understanding the online hustle that I portray throughout the guests to you, the listeners and the viewers as well, where whatever insight that you have, whatever question that you may have, first of all gets answered in the episode, but at the same time we're giving you the opportunity to kind of, first of all, meet the expert and kind of understand how they speak and what they know about, and at the same time, in every outro and every description of the episode, we do have the details of the guests. So if you wanted to kind of find out what they did and if you want to speak to them further, you're more than welcome to do so as well. On a personal basis, I have to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed doing season 1, simply because I've kind of used my personal thirst for knowledge throughout these episodes. As I said, being a strategy and growth account manager, I do have to really understand the strategies that businesses have taken. So I can also portray it to my clients and to the business that we are running. And it's been very, very insightful to listen to completely different sort of ideas, because there's episodes where we look into sustainability, we look into sourcing, we're looking into different marketing strategies, we're looking into social media, for example. These are all massive factors in the e-commerce business, and not just e-commerce business, but business in general in today's world. And hopefully out of the first few episodes of season 1, we have been able to kind of grasp your attention and kind of see, hey, these episodes are very in-depth and sometimes maybe a little bit too in-depth business-wise, but if it's not for you now, I believe it will be for you at a later date, which is really, really important for us. And as I said, because I've used my thirst for knowledge in this podcast, it is kind of designed for our listeners. I'm basically asking the questions as a possible new entrepreneur or an established entrepreneur can have to these businesses, especially in this industry where it's ever changing, right? And I also believe that e-commerce has become so much about these big players such as Amazon, such as Shopify, and these big marketplaces. But e-commerce is not just, the selling of retail products on these marketplaces. It's also the ability to kind of advertise your company and what you do on your own website and be able to actually sell your service through our website or sell your digital services through your website. That's still e-commerce. And it's crazy to think how much that is evolved over the few years, and very quickly as well. There's a few episodes where we actually look into the very early life of e-commerce as well, and how that has changed from then till now is kind of mind-boggling, considering it's probably a space of 20 years that we're talking about, and how that has quickly developed. And then us as consumer, I speak to these businesses as the consumer myself, as the buyer himself, where, when I try and buy these brand new products, I'm increasingly more spoiled. There's more things that I want from a business, whether it's next day delivery, whether it is customer service, whether it is having customer support straight away to be able to buy the right product. It's a massive opportunity that we'll obviously delve into the episode. Finally, what I really wanted to mention is there is a recurring section that we have in each and every episode. And this section that I created is called Believe It or Not. Okay? And the section goes, believe it or not, the year 2013 is 10 years ago. For me, especially, and I say it to my guests as well, that actually 2013 feels like yesterday. But technically, we are in the year 2023, which means 2013 was 10 years ago. And I kind of asked them this question where, if there was one piece of advice that you could give yourself, the entrepreneur, the person, what that piece of advice would be to that person that you were in the year 2013. That advice, however, cannot be investing in crypto, because that's a little bit of a cheat code. And some of the reactions from the guests have always been great. I thought on the intro episode I'd go through this. Here's a picture of me riding a jet ski in the year 2013. I'm in Sri Lanka, where my parents are based, in the lagoons of Omnigumbo. But in the instance of what advice I would give myself from when I was 18 years old in 2013, it probably would be about the mistakes that I made throughout then. And sometimes, even in business, when you're making mistakes, it's all about learning from them and being able to kind of react from them. I think throughout growing up, I took my mistakes a little bit too seriously, and even the simpler ones, the simple mistakes that you make, and instead of spending time and wasting time kind of begrudging them and being sad about them, it's all about the reaction. I see that in business all the time. Mistakes get made all the time, but it's all about the reaction and the business reaction, and how you can strategize accordingly into being able to grow again and kind of obviously cover the mistake as well. And this is what I speak on a daily basis to my clients, but it's something that hopefully we can inspire to do for you to do as well through these episodes of season 1 of the Online Hustle podcast. That's pretty much it for the intro episode. I hope you enjoy season 1. As I said, any feedback, please let me know. You can follow myself personally on LinkedIn under Piero Perera. I'm quite responsive on the messages as well, so please give me the feedback. Episode 1, episode 2 will be out very shortly, straight with this intro. But please, any feedback that you have, let me know, and please enjoy the Online Hustle podcast. Thank you.